Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our session this afternoon. Good afternoon, Sir Fred, Sir Alex, and Ma'am Yang. Good afternoon. Okay, so we are now on day 2 of the week 7 on digital tools for research, which talks about data collection tools, right? So, yeah. So this afternoon, let's first define data before going through on the process on what's really the platform we are using on collecting the data. So first, data are individual facts, statistics, or items of information are often numeric that are collected through observation. So if I may ask you here, what are your platforms in collecting so far your data? Or tools that you're able to collect your data. It might be through in the face-to-face setting or else in an online setting. Sir Fred, I think you can share to this.
Sir, in our institution, we do observations, interview, personal interview, at, and virtually because we are
Yeah,
in a pandemic, so virtual interviews and Google Forms.
yeah, exactly. So in an online distance learning, we use that tools, right, in collecting our data so far, right? And thanks for that, Sir Fred. How about Sir Alex in your answer?
Ah, Same din po, we're using, and since it's online nga po, we are meeting our students virtually and we're using din po Google Forms. And aside from that, I believe answering in poll is also a way of collecting data to our students. So we have GC po kasi with our parents and also for our students. There were times na if we need data right away, we're using polls.
Exactly. That's the easiest way on how to collect the data. Thanks, Sir Alex. Now let's move on to data collection. So when we talk about data collection on screen is the framework. It is actually a process of gathering, measuring, and analyzing accurate data from a variety of relevant sources to find answers to research problems, answers questions, evaluate outcomes, and forecast trends and probabilities. So, as in our society right now, we are highly dependent on data, especially on research purposes, right? So, having an accurate data is necessary to make informed, decision makings and quality assurance. Now, in our case, if we will have a research project, we used to collect data. That's part of the, I think it's in the chapter 3 on data collection and procedures, right? So it's actually helpful on if we are able to use these tools right now that I is able to present later on in collecting data. So what is this tool, by the way? On screen are the different digital survey tools for us to be able to use on collecting data. Aside from the Google form, Sir Alex made mention about polling a while ago. That's correct. That's one way of getting the data by, of course, simply posting your questions and, you know, collecting their comments and answers. So on screen again are the digital survey tools for you to use. So as their link, and yeah, especially if you have your research project, and these tools here on screen are very helpful. So at this moment, I will be sharing my form here. A moment here. There you go. So this afternoon, we will be using or focusing um, on the use of Google Forms. I believe that every one of you here are very familiar with Google Forms, right? Sir Fred, Sir Alex, you are familiar with Google Forms. Okay, so knowing that you are very familiar already with the Google form, let's just have a short review or recap on how these forms, you know, important and give significance to us as a teacher, so as to our students in an online distance learning. Now here, this afternoon on screen is the Google form, right? For us to create a new one, just click on uh, blank here, the plus or add icon for us to create the form itself. Let's assume that we will be creating a survey. Now, the first thing that we need to do is, of course, here, let's put a title to this section. So for example, survey form. So then under that one is description. So by the way, for us to rename the form itself, then just click on the untitled form at the left corner of your screen. Click on that one so that it will automatically rename it to the respective title, such as survey form. So then under that is the form description again. Then let's have here a sample of a description. Dear participants. This is a sample form. Please fill up the necessary information. Information. Okay. Next to that is just say here researcher, for example, and your name under it. Okay, so that's under description. Now, good thing of having a survey, I mean, having Google Form as our data collection tool, we can actually customize it, right? So to customize the form that we are creating, just click on customize theme here. And then there you go. You can upload a header, a theme color, and you can choose, by the way, the theme color so as the background color. So for us to, mm, for us to change to add a header to our form, then just click on choose image here. This is just for branding. So click on choose image, or else there are already template or example themes for you to select here. Or else if you wish to have the branding to your form, then just click on upload over here, and then you look for the header to your form. Okay. So for example, this one. And then click on upload and just wait until it's uploaded. Click on done. Once you're done selecting your header, there you go. We already uploaded a header. So basically we can customize our form. Next is, aside from that, you can also choose the color or a theme color, right? Just click on add custom color here for you to add another color. For example, this one. Then just click on add here. And then the color itself of your form, the theme color of your form will be automatically changed. So as the background color here. Okay. And then aside from the theme color, adding a header, or background color, we also have your font style. There are 4 font style here. Then please feel free to select any of these here for your form. For example, if you wish to have a formal one, then just click on formal. And you can also use different font style being offered here. Now, let's go back to the form itself. Then first, under the description, then that's a time you may able to add your first question. Usually in a survey, we're able to ask the name, right? Name of the participant. For example, name here, and then for them to specify well their names, then basically you will assign whether um which comes first, like for example last name or the first name. So most of the time I used to have last name, after the last name is the first name, and of course this will depends upon you whether which comes first. Okay, and then it will automatically being assigned here on the other corner that it was answered on the use of this option. So then the participants will able to type their last name and first name, if and only if it's required. And if it's optional, then yeah, for data privacy on the in research, we're able to you know have this optional, right, in our paper in collecting their names. So then if it's not required, then do not just switch on required button here. Okay, so aside from that, if you wish to add more question, then just click on add question here. So next to name is your, what else? Address. Okay. And then if the address is required, then just click on required here. By the way, there are some tools here on the left, I mean on the right corner of the section. There are tools such as importing a question, adding title, description. You can also add image, at the same time add video, or else add section. So then I'd like to discuss each of this one here. So when we talk about short answer, a while ago we used short answer. Short answer, by the way, it gives recipients a blank field to fill in, right? And on the other hand, we use paragraph here, same function. It gives recipient a blank field to fill in their answer. So let's try another option here. Let's just click on add question if you wish to add more question by utilizing multiple choice as a type of question. Yeah. Okay, so here let's have a question on the use of the multiple choice. Mm, any question, suggestion you'd like to suggest on asking a question on the use of the multiple choice? You just say, let's how are you? I don't have any words to think so far, so just click in here. How are you? I'm good. Not okay. What else? find another. So there you go. If this is your question, then we'll able to use multiple choice as an option here. When we talk about multiple choice, we will able to let our users to select one answer from a series of options that we are, providing, right? So that's multiple choice. If it's mandatory to answer, then just click on required here. And then what else? We also have here drop down. For drop down, this one in my example, um, if I may check my example here, we also have here drop down. By the way, drop down gives a recipients to a field to click that reveals a menu they will select an answer from. So that's drop down. We also have here linear scale and a lot of options offers in Google Form. So then if you wish to duplicate a particular section or a particular component, to just click on duplicate. And if you wish to delete it, then just click on delete. And if it's required, then click on that. And there are also some hidden options here in the vertical dots here. So just click anywhere of this if it's needed. Okay, so the next thing here, if we wish to add another section, then just click on add section. So we are already in the section 2, then let's rename our title. For example, survey questions, right? Survey questions, or let's have this one labeled to continuation, for example. Okay, so then that's the time you will be able to, yeah, here. The description here actually is optional. Then you may actually add question to your survey question. Okay, so let's have here an example question for a moment. Let's look at question here. So for example, um, what are the platforms or tools you're using during online distance learning? So then for us to know more about this, then let's just select check boxes. So what are the platforms you used during online distance learning or tools? If you Zumba, or we can also use Google Meet, right? Google Meet. What else? Big Blue Button. We also have here Schoology. We also have here, I'm not sure if it's part. Let's change the one to Our Soul. We also have here, what else? How about in your case, sir? What else you can add on the platforms or tools for you use during online distance learning, especially having a video conference session?
We're using Zoom, sir.
Same. Okay, Zoom. So
Same
it
po.
okay. So you can also click on add other here if you wish to add more option. I mean answer to the participants. So if it's required again, then just click on required. And let's try to add another um, question here. Okay. So in this case, let's try using linear scale. As you can see, there is an option here on the use of linear scale. Then let's try to utilize this. Just click on linear scale first and then add your question. For example, your question is, Oh, sorry, what is your level of engagement? What is your supposedly your level of engagement in an online distance learning? So one, right, will depends upon you whether one should be poor, labeled as poor, or five to excellent. So here you can actually change it to that will depends upon you whether you start it to 0 or 1 to 5 or else 10 here. So in our case, let's just try to use 0. I mean, yeah, 0 to 10. So 0 means poor and 10 is excellent. So that's the question on the use of the linear scale. So basically later on I will click on preview for us to see how this stuff works. I hope we can add more question here. Let's try to use the, what else I can add here? File upload. So click on file upload. As you can see, there is a statement here that states files will be uploaded to the form owners Google Drive. So respondents will be required to sign in to Google when file upload questions are added to a form. Make sure to only share this form with people you trust. So just if you able to read this one and understand, just click on continue for you to go on to the next process. Then let's label it here, or let's put a question here on um try again using here. We're already down here, right? In a file of upload. So for us to upload a file, let's put a question here on upload your example file here. Or let's label it here reflection file here, for example. So then, as you can see, at the lower portion of that, there is a statement that states allow only specific file types. So if you wish to allow specific file types, and just switch on this one, and then select any file type that you wish to allow the participants to submit. Like for example, if you wish them to submit a PDF file, then just click on PDF file, or else video, then just click on video. And if you wish to allow them on the use of different file, then just disable the button here. And there is also a maximum number of files would you like to set here. Then just, I think there are 1, 5, 10. Yeah, you can select 1, 5, or 10. So what's the maximum file size? I think we have here until 10 gig. So then the participants, if they were able to upload their file, then basically the form only accept until what you have set. For example, 1 gig, it's just only 1 gig. So then that's it. So if it's required, then don't forget to click on required. Let's also try to, yeah, by the way, before we proceed on adding a section to section, I mean, adding more sections, so as questions, maybe you have question, just raise your question if you have before we proceed. Sir Fred, Ma'am Yang, Sir Alex, you have question, and if none, let's proceed.
Let's say for example po, I'm done creating my my forms, and then I send it to my it's not in po pala, it's not in a form of quiz, right? That's why you're not writing, clicking the right answer there.
Mm.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, you can also set the form on if you wish to make a quiz type of, on the use of form. You can actually do that in another way. So in this case, let's more focus on having a survey form.
What if sir, ayan, di ba po we're giving options. And then, nasend na po natin, for example, dun sa mga magiging participants po natin. And then suddenly, while browsing your Google Forms, you found out na parang there's a discrepancy between the question and the options. And then what do you call that? You want to replace the option in connection with your question para maging parallel na po siya. Ma-affect po ba yun kapag po sinend pa si ano, si ki inano siya nung mga participants po or another set po ulit yung ise-send ko po sa kanila?
It will automatically change, sir, the same form. However, the statement there will automatically be changed. Lang. Okay, so it will not duplicate, in sending the form. So whatever the form na send natin in the first place, that's the same form we are able to see. And okay, so if that's the case, let's now proceed. Thanks, Sir Alex. On adding a section. So here, for us to add a section, just click on add section here at the lower portion of your floating tools here. Just click on add section, and then let's try to copy this one, and then same title. The description here again still optional, and then let's add more question. By the way, in this case, let's try to integrate the use of conditions, right, in Google Forms. So we're in the section 3, and then let's have this question. Create a short reflection about online distance learning. And let's try to add another, sorry for that, section so that we can set a condition. Just click on add question here, sorry, section here at the lower portion, and then still just copy the title of your section and then add another question. So that will depends upon you whether what question would you like to add. So, or else why do you say, why do you say so? So let's try to integrate or use the conditions in Google Form. Let's have it short answer because we will be letting our participants to type in their answer on the question if ever. Yeah, for us to do that, make sure to add first a question here. Okay, how are you? So if the participants answered I'm good, so basically uh, if the participants answered I'm good, just click on, for us to apply the conditions, click on the vertical dots here and go to section based and answer. Again, this is how we're going to apply conditions. Just click on here and then go to section based and answer. So once the participants answered I'm good, we will be letting the participants to continue to section 3. Section 3 here. It means that the participants will answer on the creation of a short reflection about online distance learning. If he or she answers, I'm good. And on the other hand, if the participants answered is not okay, then let's click on continue to next section and then let them go to section 4 for them to answer why do you say so that you're not okay. Okay, so that's the conditioning and the form. And And for us to know that if it's working, then let's try to preview our work here. To preview, just click on the eye icon here, and then click on that one, and then just have your name, for example, John. Your address is Cebu. For example, the we incorporate or we integrate the conditions here on asking how are you. Once the participants answered I'm good, then basically they directly proceed to the question to create a reflection about online distance learning. If the participants answered not okay, then they will be going to section 4, which they they're required to answer the question, why is it you're not okay, right? So if I click on I'm good, if I click on next here, then I will be able to go directly to the question, create a short reflection about online distance learning. If I click on back, let's check this one. If I'll click on not okay, then just click on next here, and we'll see what will happen. It will automatically states here that why do you say so. So basically that's the important, or that's the significance of having conditions to our survey forms, to our forms. And if the participants, since we were not able to put the conditions on the option fine here, let's see what will happen. Click on next, and then yeah, as you can see, we're able to meet the some questions about platforms, tools, or platforms or tools used during online distance learning and their level of engagement, so as adding a file. So that's how we're going to add conditions so far in the survey form. Okay. Actually, this is very important, especially for those who have, having a research questions on some research questions, right? And then if the participants want to move on to the next page, and they can do that one on the use of the conditioning in the survey form. What else I can add so far? I think that's it lang for this afternoon. However, I could just only add more na lang on collaboration and sending, right? To send, just click on send over here, and then you can type in the email of your respondents. Like for example, I'll be sending this to Sir Fred, and then put a subject here. Don't forget to put a subject. And if you wish to add a collaborator, again, these are, some questions that was being asked by my students a while ago in our class. So where can we find, or where can we add the collaborators to our form? Because we wanted you to be the collaborator to our form also, so that you can see the responses of our research. So just click on send, and then we have here add collaborators. Click on add collaborators here, and then select the person you wish to add to be collaborated to that particular form. For example, Ma'am or Yell, just click on send, right? Make sure to set it to editor. Okay, what else? And you can also shorten. If there are times that some of our students, colleagues will ask our links to our form for them to answer the survey, then it's basically the link is too long for us to send them. Then we can also shorten the link by clicking or checking here shorten URL, and it will automatically set it to like this, and just copy the link and then send it to them. You can also embed the the link to the website, to the blog, or anything or anywhere. What else? Yeah, I think that's the thing that I can um discuss this afternoon. I know that every one of you here right now in the session are very familiar with Google Form. I just like to be, having a short review on how this forms works. So having this form, we use this to, mostly in research, right? In research, getting the datas, and what else? Having getting some profiling to our participants or our respondents, right? So that's the case. Are there any questions so far about data collection tools? This is very important, by the way. There are a lot of data collection tools, but I prefer to use Google Forms. Aside from it's user friendly, aside from its feature, um, we can also download our datas automatically to the Excel, right? Like, we can able to see the responses automatically and accept responses on time, even if you're still sending it to the respondents. After a minute you can actually receive the responses. So this is very user friendly, and I recommend to use this. Sir Alex, are there any other questions before we end the session? I hope that's clear, and I hope that this session is helpful. Okay, since you don't have any other question this afternoon, I thank you for joining our short discussion, and I hope you have a great day and stay healthy. Thank you, Sir Alex, Ma'am Yang, and Sir Fred. Thank you so much. Happy Teacher's Day also, Sir Alex. Thank you. I forgot to greet you, by the way. Happy Teacher's Day to everyone. Thank you so much. Stay safe.